By now, I'm sure you have all heard about the large explosion that took place in Beirut. There was a big explosion, 50 people dead, over 3,000 injured that we know of so far. And the media is claiming that this large explosion was caused possibly by a firework factory. Now, this does not look like a firework factory explosion to me. This looks like a tiny nuclear blast. The shock wave is massive. I want you guys to watch this footage. Now, all over social media, people were going crazy saying that there is no way in heck this explosion was caused by a firework factory exploding. It just does not look right. The explosion was too big. It almost looks like a tiny nuke, doesn't it? I mean, it really does look like a nuclear device went off. So recently, the media has come out and now says the explosion was caused by an estimated 2,750 tons of ammonium nitrate left unsecured for 6 years in a warehouse after it was confiscated by the authorities. The explosion occurred while welding a warehouse opening to prevent theft. Isn't that something they would have known? The authorities would have known if it was one of their warehouses that exploded? This just does not sound right. So now this story is that possibly a spark from a welding gun, when they were trying to weld the door shut to prevent theft, maybe a spark caused the explosion. I'm calling BS. And the reason why I'm calling BS is this story doesn't make sense. It doesn't sound right. It looks like a tiny nuclear device went off. That explosion was just way too big. And I think that this was possibly a false flag event. I'm going to show you guys some more media footage. And I want you guys to pay close attention because there's something in this footage that defies the laws of nature. It just does not look right. I want you to see if you can spot what I spotted, and then I'll tell you what it is after you watch this. Check it out.
Breaking news from Lebanon. The capital, Beirut, has been hit by a massive explosion. Dozens of people are said to be injured, and there are some reports of people trapped under the rubble. The cause of the blast is not yet known. It's caused widespread damage and appears to be centered on the city's port area. It is the wave, the blast wave has turned cars upside down. Absolute devastation in the Lebanese capital. Sadly, a country that is used to explosions, but this is of an entire different magnitude altogether.
All right, so did you guys catch that? Because I spotted this right away when I was watching the media this morning. Why are the cars on this bridge flipped over and blown towards the direction of the explosion and not away from it? That defies the laws of physics. That is completely impossible. If the explosion came from that direction, those cars would not be flipped over and blown over like that, facing towards the explosion. They'd be blown back the other direction. It looks like those cars were planted there. That's impossible. The shock wave from that explosion would have blown those cars the opposite direction. They would not be flipped over on that bridge facing the area the explosion came from. That's why I think this was a false flag event. I do think that something detonated, maybe a tiny nuclear device, but I think beforehand they set up props and probably used crisis actors for this. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section down below.